The 2013 Portland Troublemaker School was held on Saturday, April 13th at the IBEW offices in Portland. The morning plenary began at 9:30, and its main topic was Beyond Bargaining, How Unions Can Fight for All Workers. Stephanie Luce, who teaches labor studies at Murphy Institute in New York, talked about her life as an activist and a researcher on living wage campaigns. Joe Mizrahi, Sarah Chambers, Cindy Avila, and Angela McWinney were also part of the panel that discussed beyond bargaining issues in the morning plenary. Then there was a morning session from 11:15 to 12:45. That consisted of 4 breakout sessions. Beating Apathy focused on trying to get your coworkers organized around a union. The guest speaker for that was Mark Brenner, the director of Labor Notes magazine. Part-Time America Still Doesn't Work was activists sharing their own experiences and struggles and insights and discussing practical options for community and labor organizations in light of how employers are trying to force workers to take lower pay, fewer benefits, less security. That was a panel discussion. Then Flyers That Don't Suck was a workshop that taught activists how to create effective messages on flyers that support workers organizing and how those techniques can apply to all media. That session was by Angus McGuire, who is a longtime union communicator in the service of social justice. And Education Fight Back was a session on how working people on the front lines are working to build coalitions that are necessary to fight against the privatizing of public institutions. The morning facilitator was statewide political organizer Ken Vellante of the Oregon Education Association. Presenters were Sarah Chambers, Emily Crum, Evan Selby, Gwen Sullivan, and Jesse Reschke. There was lunch and a speaker from 1 to 1:45, Mark Brenner, New Directions for Our Labor Movement. And then there was an afternoon session from 2 to 2:30. The first workshop in the afternoon was Reviving the Strike and Other Strategies to Win. Joe Burns, author of Revive the Strike and a veteran union negotiator, talked about old and new ways workers are winning with strikes. Participants for that included Ben Nelson, Mary Watkins, and Patricia Scott, Claire Shropshire, Meredith Schaefer, and Lori King. The next afternoon session was called Rank and File Democracy Boosts Union Power. That workshop explored the idea that the key to recharging a union depends on building democratic structures that let the rank and file run the show. Mark Brenner was the facilitator, and the panelists included Amy Springelmeyer, Pete Savage, and Wesley Buchholz. Combining Forces, Building Power to Fight Austerity was the third afternoon session, and talked about how austerity has become the enemy of organized labor and how it has energized unions to fight against it. Megan Heiss was the facilitator, and the presenters included Rob Larson, Seamus Cook, and Kevin Stampfli. And the last session was Where Do Undocumented Workers Fit In? Facilitator Peter Parks talked about VAS organizing day laborers on the corners and safe centers where employers can find them and hire them. He and presenters Romeo Sosa, Marco Mejia, Alejandro Juarez, and Elizabeth Swager talked about driver's licenses for unabandoned workers and immigration policy. I interviewed 3 activists at this event: Johanna Brenner, Tom Getz, and Dave Bunch. To hear the complete interview of these 3 attendees, as well as interviews with musicians, artists, scientists, and other activists, visit my website at www.converse.us. That's CONVERS.us.